All right, diving right in, folks. Today we're going deep on something, well, pretty deep. Sacred texts.
Sacred texts. Sounds a little dusty, maybe.
Maybe. But trust me, this will be anything but boring. We've got this excerpt from an academic text that really got us thinking, and
And it's amazing how relevant this stuff is, even today. You ready to get into it?
born ready. So, first things first.
Mm-hmm.
What even makes a text sacred? I mean, it's just words on a page, right?
That's where it gets interesting. See, our source dives into all these terms, holy, divine, value, to show how something becomes sacred.
It's not just about the content, but how people treat it, how they see it.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah,
sacredness demands a different level of respect, a different way of interacting with it.
makes sense. And the text specifically talks about Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism. Do they all see sacred texts the same way?
Well, each tradition brings its own flavor to the table. For instance, in Buddhism, you've got the Buddhist canon, right? They call it the Dharma.
Dharma, I've heard that before, like the teachings of the Buddha.
Right on. It's basically all those teachings compiled together. But even within Buddhism, you've got different schools of thought that interpret the Dharma in their own ways.
So even with one word, Dharma, there's not one single meaning.
Not necessarily, no. It can depend on the context, the specific school of thought, and how those teachings are applied. Now, in Hinduism, it gets really interesting because they actually make a distinction between two types of texts, Shruti and Smriti.
Shruti. Smriti, those are new ones for me.
Yeah, they're Sanskrit terms. Shruti means that which is heard. These are texts believed to be directly revealed by the divine, like straight from the source.
Whoa. Okay, so a Shruti is heard. What's Smriti then?
Smriti means remembered. So these are texts that were written by sages and wise folks, passed down through generations.
So there's like a hierarchy, kinda. Shruti's up top, Smriti's below.
Yeah, you could see it that way. Shruti holds a higher level of authority, so it plays a bigger role in rituals and theological debates. And then you've got Sikhism, and their sacred text is truly one of a kind.
Right. The Guru Granth Sahib. Now that one's fascinating because it's not just seen as a book. It's literally considered the living guru.
It's actually incredible. The Guru Granth Sahib isn't just the writings of one person. It's got hymns and teachings from all 10 human gurus of Sikhism, and even some from Hindu and Muslim saints.
Wow, a real blend of traditions.
Right. And the 10th guru, Guru Gobind Singh, he declared the Guru Granth Sahib to be his successor. So for Sikhs, this text isn't just a book, it's their ultimate guide, their spiritual authority.
And that really ties into what we were saying earlier about how people interact with sacred texts. It's like they're not just reading the Guru Granth Sahib, they're engaging with their guru.
Exactly. You can really see that belief reflected in how they treat the Guru Granth Sahib, wrapped in fine cloths, placed on a raised platform, given its own room.
Yeah, I've seen that. And there's that whole ceremony, right, where they put the Guru Granth Sahib to bed each night?
The Sukhasan ceremony, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. They carefully tuck the Guru Granth Sahib under this ornate canopy like it's a living being.
It's so powerful how those actions really show what they believe. And that actually brings up another good point. Our source talks about how it's not just the written word that's considered sacred.
You got it. Think about oral traditions like in indigenous cultures. Those stories and teachings passed down for generations. They're sacred too, even if they're never written down.
Right. It's about how that knowledge is shared and respected, whether it's on paper or spoken aloud.
Absolutely. It shows how the idea of sacredness goes way beyond just having a physical book. It's about the transmission of knowledge, the respect for tradition, the connection to something bigger than ourselves.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about what makes something sacred, looked at examples from different religions, and even touched on the power of oral traditions.
And how those traditions are kept alive through practice and ritual.
Exactly. But here's something I want to leave our listeners with. In our modern world, where things are, maybe less focused on traditional religions, what do WE consider sacred? What holds that special place for us, even if we don't call it sacred?
Ooh, that's a good one. Makes you really think, huh? What ideas, what objects, what values, what do WE treat as untouchable, as something worthy of that deep respect?
Something to ponder, folks. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.